It's Monday, May the 8th, 2017. We'll call the meeting to order. And this time, let's bow and have prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the day that you've given us. Thank you for the sunshine. Thank you for the many blessings that you allow us to enjoy each day. Thank you for each one that's made their way out here tonight. And I just pray that we will seek your guidance in everything that we say and do. And ask your blessings on the town and on each one that we should remember tonight. We give you thanks for all things. Amen. Amen. Ask you to stand and join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first thing we have is minutes from May 2nd work session. Anyone have any questions, comments, corrections on those?
On this other comment, Kim put it down, Terry Harris stated that the clerk does have the right to tell the owner that they should purchase a license. I'd rather part say Terry Harris stated his opinion that the clerk does have the right to tell the owner that they should purchase a license. That's just my opinion, Kim. That may not be the opinion of the council, but I'd like to make that change. What's this goes on?
Oh, okay. Okay, anything else?
On the same deal there on the other comments, there where Mayor Abels told Cisco, Jackie Rogers brought that up, it needs to be put in there that you stated that you misspoke on that somebody else brought that up, and it was voted on by the entire council.
Okay, actually what I said was I may have misspoke. I need to go back and review the tape. So, to make a change like that, I'll need to review that. So we'll just
Okay,
not vote on this.
Gary, you got those minutes? I think, yeah.
Yeah, I got them right here. You got yours? I've got the same thing you've got, where it's talking about.
But the prior minutes?
Oh, it's Friday minutes, yeah, I got those. On February the 13th, it says,
He has those minutes. Right?
Stanley Rooks made the motion to give Attorney Nikki Scott the approval to send Joey Cisco the letter as written. I second. Jackie didn't bring it up. He said,
Well, it doesn't say in the minutes who brought it up.
well, no, not here it doesn't, but I'm just
It
saying.
doesn't there either. It just says who made the motion.
Just review the tape.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
I'm not. Yeah. Somebody else will bring up something and somebody else will make the motion.
Right.
And
Well,
all I'm saying is
Just review the minutes and
Okay.
that'll be good enough.
What do I need to do on the correction of the minutes then?
We're
Okay.
gonna review the tape.
I guess I need somebody, well, no,
Make a motion to not accept.
make a motion that we not accept those minutes until a review is made about that.
That'll be good.
I'll make a motion we not accept until review is made of the tape.
I'll second it.
All revisions are made.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Okay, that passes. And just, that's an example where Jackie brought it up, he made the motion. So,
That's
could
correct.
be something like that. How about the April 10th, regular council meeting minutes? Any additions or corrections, concerns? All right. those will stand approved as read then. Next is to initial page 1 and 2, sign page 3. Okay, under reports, first thing is every what matters, and Barry Wisner came back by last week on Wednesday and got the information to Kim that they needed, and she got all that, copies of the bills and some other paperwork filled out, and emailed it to him and to their home office in Washington, state of Washington. And so we've done what we needed to do at this point, and so this lets you know, everything's in the works on that, get the audit done at some point. Okay, under unfinished business, first item is resolution 2017-05-08A, the back to school sales tax holiday. And this will be the second reading of this. It's amending resolution 2016-04-04-B. Annual participation in the back to school sales tax holiday is authorized by Code 40-23-210 through 40-23-213, Code of Alabama 1975. The resolution of the town of Geraldine, Alabama, amending resolution 2016-04-04-B to correspond to the change of dates as stipulated in Act number 2017-120 to exempt certain covered items from the municipal sales and use tax beginning at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, July 21st, 2017, and ending at 12 midnight on Sunday, July 23rd, 2017, and for each year thereafter. Sales tax holiday begins at 12:01 a.m. on the Friday of the third full weekend of July and ends at 12 midnight the following Sunday. Be it ordained by the Town Council of Geraldine, Alabama as follows. Whereas Code 40-23-210 through 40-23-213, Code of Alabama 1975, and Act number 2017-120 provides for a sales tax holiday for the exemption of the state sales and use tax for certain non-commercial purchases related to school clothing and supplies, and whereas 40-23-213, Code of Alabama 1975, and Act number 2017-120 authorizes the Town Council to provide for an exemption of municipal sales and use taxes for purchases of certain items covered during the same time period in which the state sales and use tax exemption is in place, provided a resolution to that effect is adopted at least 30 days prior to the sales tax holiday, and whereas the Town Council has affirmatively voted to grant the exemption of municipal sales and use taxes on purchases covered by 40-23-210 through 40-23-213, Code of Alabama 1975, and Act 2017-120 during the third full weekend of July, beginning at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, July 21st, 2017, ending at 12 midnight on Sunday, July 23rd, 2017, and continuing each subsequent year thereafter during the same time period as the state's back-to-school sales tax holiday until and unless annual participation in the exemption is rescinded by further action of the Town Council. And whereas Code of Alabama 1975, 11-51-210E requires that the Town Council notify the Alabama Department of Revenue of any new local tax or amendment to an existing local tax levy at least 30 days prior to the effective date of the change. And whereas the exemption of certain municipal sales and use taxes for the time period herein adopted by the Town Council is an amendment to the municipal sales and use tax levy warranting notice to the Alabama Department of Revenue is provided in Code of Alabama 1975, 11-51-210E. Wherefore be it resolved by the Geraldine Town Council that it does hereby provide for an exemption of the municipal sales and use tax on purchases of items covered by 40-23-210 through 40-23-213 Code of Alabama 1975, and Act number 2017-120, beginning at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, July 21st, 2017, ending at 12 midnight on Sunday, July 23rd, 2017, and continuing each subsequent year thereafter during the same time period as the state's back-to-school sales tax holiday, until and unless annual participation in the exemption is rescinded by further action of the town council. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the May 8th, 2017 meeting of the Geraldine Town Council, be immediately forwarded to the Alabama Department of Revenue in compliance with the Code of Alabama 1975, 11-51-210E. In witness thereof, the Geraldine Town Council has caused this resolution to be executed in the name and on its behalf by its mayor. On this, the 8th day of May 2017, this resolution becomes effective upon first publication. So I have a motion that we adopt this resolution. So moved. Need to have a second? Second by Councilman Bearden. Any discussion?
I just got one question. Is this, did we do this same thing last year?
Yeah, but they changed the date. It was the second week, first or second week of August.
So if they don't change the date, we won't have to do this again next year?
That's right.
Just stay like it is?
Yeah,
Okay. I saw them.
but it had been being at some point in August after school started.
Yeah,
And so now they moved back to school,
Okay.
sales tax holiday.
that's all
The other thing, they could change it if they change when school starts, back middle of July or something, then they change it again. But
Yeah.
without those changes, we won't have to do this again. Any other discussion? I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes. The next one is Resolution 2017-05-08B, declaring certain town property as surplus. And had a couple of options there. Only difference is under Section 2, the italicized part, the last sentence added there on option 2. I heard from Stanley saying that he liked option 2 better, to tell us what to do with the stuff if nobody bids on it. Basically, the only difference there. Okay, since this will be the first time this has been brought up in the meeting, we'll need a roll call vote to consider this at the first reading. So I'll ask by roll call if you want to consider this at the first reading. Councilman Rooks.
Yes.
Councilman Harris.
Yes.
Councilman Rogers.
Yes.
Linfeld.
Aye.
Beard.
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is Resolution 2017-05-08B, resolution declaring certain town property as surplus. Whereas the town of Geraldine, Alabama has certain items of personal property which are no longer needed for public and municipal purposes. And whereas Section 11-43-56 of the Code of Alabama 1975 as amended authorizes the municipal governing body to dispose of unneeded personal property. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Council of Geraldine, Alabama as follows. Section 1, that the following personal property owned by the town of Geraldine is not needed for public or municipal purposes. Item 1, iron bleachers located at the outfield of Field 2 in the town park. Item 2, 13 4-foot 2-bulb fluorescent light fixtures that are stored at the splash pad. Item 3, 1 wood rocking chair. Item 4, 1 wood and wicker rocking chair. 5, 2 natural gas 3-brick Vanguard wall heaters. Number 6, 1 wood school desk. And number 7, 3 office desk chairs. all of these except the bleachers, rental, splash pad, storage rooms. In section 2, that the mayor and town clerk be and they hereby are authorized and directed to dispose of the personal property owned by the town of Geraldine, described in section 1 above, to wit, that the above described property will be advertised for sale, and the advertisement will be posted in 4 public places within the town limits of the town of Geraldine, and sealed bids will be taken until May 31st, 2017 at 4 p.m. I'll add that in there. And then sold to the highest bidder. If the property is not bid on and sold, then the metal bleachers will be sold as scrap iron, and the remaining items disposed of or recycled. Above the foregoing resolution was read, adopted, and approved on the 8th day of May 2017 with the town council. See about that. Okay, now, do I have a motion that we adopt resolution number 2017-0508B?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second, any discussion? We'll have these items available for people to look at. Okay, any discussion? Okay, motion and second to adopt resolution 2017-0508B, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Resolution is adopted. Okay, the next item on the agenda, well, I missed A there, I see. In fact, I got plumb out of line. Should be back in unfinished business. Item B. The resident street light addition procedure. We've run that back and forth a couple of times at meetings, and made some corrections. And the copy you have is what we came up with at the last time we talked about it. So I'd ask for a motion to adopt the street light addition procedure.
I move we adopt the latest iteration of the street light procedure.
Okay. Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second to adopt the resident street light addition procedure. Any discussion, questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Okay, that passes. Next thing is tree trimming that we've talked about a couple of times. Got 4 or 5 streets, got some trees that need trimming apparently. But I need a motion concerning that.
What streets, do you have the streets done now? I wrote some of them.
Got Osborne and Park Street and
Aye.
Pine Street, Salem Cutoff, and Macedonia Road.
That's pretty much what
And what we need to do is, if you want to do this, we'd need to mark the trees and then get a couple of bids on that. And since Councilman Harris has a son in the tree trimming business, he'll get to stay out of this conversation.
I know we talked about that back a while back, and I think, of course, you're gonna take bids on it, I think you said you did it for $80 an hour, I think, but you're gonna bid it out. That's not what it anyways.
I guess the thing at this point is we'd need a motion to get a price on getting it done. And then, see if we want to get it all done or part of it or something like
Chuck,
that.
I move we solicit bids to get the trees trimmed on the states, or the streets listed in the text message we all received.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? And, you know, just for clarification, and Nikki, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but since Terry's son owns a business that does that, he can still bid on it as long as Terry's not involved in the discussion and voting and that kind of thing.
That's right. You may want to set a date that you're gonna open the bids.
Yeah.
Or on my road, those road streets today, and there is some limbs that really need to go.
Yeah.
The motion that he made stated the text message received, is that the list that you called out the names?
It is.
Like the text message?
Yeah, and I'll get you a copy of the text message. Those are the ones in the text message. It's a couple of weeks. Give or take on that.
So when it get done, put some.
Yeah.
Chuck, in that resolution, we didn't have an opening date for the surplus property. If it's necessary, I don't know if it's necessary.
Okay. Kim and I talked about that. Let's finish this and then we'll go back to that. Thanks for reminding me. Who made the motion to see about getting the trees trimmed?
I did.
That you, would you like to put a date in, I mean, have bids in by a certain date, like a couple of weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks would be plenty.
Okay. About 4 o'clock, May the 22nd, be okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. There, you on your second?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Don't we gotta make the 23rd?
That's the planning commission, meeting the 23rd. All right, we have a motion to solicit bids on tree trimming on streets mentioned, and with a deadline of May the 22nd at 4 p.m. And we could have a meeting at that time to open the bids, or if that's what you want to do. Who knows?
Well, if we're having a meeting the next day on that, could we not just do it right before that?
We're not having
I mean,
that.
the planning commission I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Some of us
Oh,
don't
yeah.
be up here for that anyway.
yeah.
Jackie will be here, I know, and I'll probably be here. Could we not make it that, say, an hour before that, or 30 minutes before that meeting?
Anybody,
Because we'll
Yeah.
be here at that time
That'd be
anyway,
good.
the next day. Say at 4:30.
Yeah. Stan, you find to be here at 4:30 that day?
Sure, better way. Check. I'm not,
Okay. Okay.
It's on the 23rd. Change it to 23rd.
Well, the deadline will be at 4 o'clock on May the 22nd.
Okay, on the 23rd.
And then open the bids at 4:30 on the 23rd. Everybody understand the motion? Okay, we have a motion and a second to solicit bids on tree trimming from streets. Bid to be in by 4 o'clock on May the 22nd. Open the bids at 4:30 on May the 23rd at a council meeting. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. Okay, that motion passes. That get you cleared up there, Kim? Okay. All right, back to the surplus. What date did we, so it's till May 31st. We do need to set a time for opening those bids. We could do it at the work session 4 or 5 days later, or we can have a special meeting.
session. It's up to the public.
Yes. Oh, and, is it okay if we just go ahead and do a separate motion on that to, about when to open the bids on the surplus, or do you want us to go back and include it on that? Go back and include it?
Probably need to make an amendment to that motion.
Yeah. All right, that's the right thing. So I'd ask for a motion to amend the motion on the resolution on the town property to include opening the bids at the work session. Wait, who's got a calendar there for June? At the June work session,
At the first Tuesday in June.
will be Tuesday before the second Monday, not probably the first Tuesday.
This will be the sixth.
Yeah. So need a motion to open the surplus bids on June the 6th at 5 o'clock.
So moved.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Yep, you don't have to,
Lingenfeld, second. Okay, motion and a second to open the surplus bids on June the 6th at 5 p.m. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. That was actually an amendment. Okay, that passes. Okay, had on here the resolution for the sewer interim financing. Did not get that in from David Ringelstein. Talked to Nikki, we both thought we might get that today, but we didn't, so we'll just have to wait until we do get it. But hopefully that'll be in a day or two, and then whenever we get it, we'll set a meeting to take care of that. Okay, next thing is an ordinance number 17-05-08, granting a franchise to DC Gas. This is just a renewal of something that's been done, and Nikki, you've looked over this and said it's good as printed, is that right?
Yes.
Do we get an increase in the franchise fee?
No, actually, there is a state law that exempts DC Gas from having to pay that. You want to address that?
Well, they did provide us with a copy of that statute, and this is the same ordinance that's been presented to all the other municipalities in the county, and I guess Cherokee County too, that do business with DC Gas, and everybody's in agreement to pass this one. It was for 30 years, and the last time it was passed was in '87, I think.
Yep.
So I don't think there's any way to place a tax on it.
So, at this point, we'll need a roll call vote to consider this at the first reading. So I'll ask if you want to consider this, Councilman Brooks,
Yay.
Councilman Harris,
Yes.
Councilman Rogers, Councilman Lingerfeld,
Aye.
Councilman Beard.
Aye.
Okay. This is not exactly once upon a time reading tonight, but anyway, we don't always have to do all this, but tonight we do. Here we go, ordinance number 17-05-08, an ordinance granting a franchise for the operation of a gas system. Be it ordained by the Town Council, the governing body of the town of Geraldine, Alabama, municipality as follows. Section 1. Municipality hereby grants the DeKalb, Cherokee counties gas districts, its successors, and assigns, called the district, the right, privilege, authority, and franchise to acquire, construct, own, maintain, enlarge, extend, improve, and operate a gas system in the municipality, including facilities for the manufacture of gas and for the transmission and distribution of manufactured and natural gas, either or both, for the purpose of supplying gas to the municipality and the surrounding territory and the inhabitants thereof, and to use the streets, avenues, alleys, and public ways and places in the municipality for such purposes. Section 2, the municipality hereby grants to the district the right, privilege, authority, and franchise at any time and from time to time during the period covered by this franchise and without any requirement as to permit or fee, therefore to construct and extend its mains, pipes, and conduits over or under or along any street, avenue, alley, or public way or place in the municipality for the purpose of constructing, repairing, improving, enlarging, or extending the said system. Section 3, the municipality hereby consents and agrees that the franchise hereby granted may be transferred under any mortgage or indenture of trust, providing for and securing any bonds of the district, including in refinancing or refunding bonds, and that any such mortgages or indentures of trust shall constitute a lien thereon, and that it may be transferred or assigned subject to the conditions thereof, but such franchise shall not otherwise be transferred or assigned. Section 4, the district shall, and by accepting this franchise, agrees that it will, upon making any excavation in the streets, avenues, alleys, public ways, and places of the municipality in the exercise of this franchise, restore the surface and paving at the point of such excavation in substantially the same condition as before the work was done within a reasonable time after completion of such work, and will save the municipality harmless from any liability arising out of any change in the condition of any street, avenue, alley, public way, or place by the district. Section 5. The provisions of this ordinance are intended to be severable, and if any one or more thereof shall be held invalid for any reason, the rest shall nevertheless stand and be fully effective. Section 6. This ordinance shall be published at the expense of the district in one issue of the Mountain Valley News, a newspaper of general circulation published in DeKalb County, Alabama, and in general circulation in the municipality. Section 7. All ordinances, resolutions, or orders or parts thereof in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Do I have a motion we adopt this ordinance?
I make a motion that we adopt it.
Okay. Motion by Councilman Rogers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion on this? Questions? Motion is second to adopt ordinance 17-0508. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. That ordinance passes.
Can we back up this?
Yeah.
Back to the sewer?
Yep.
So I missed something on that. We talked about last week where we were at, and I know we had to get around financing, that kind of stuff, but we had updated. What Adam said, I asked for a list, what are our next 3 or 4 steps? And have you got a list, has anybody got a list?
I've got one.
Because I want to see a list, because I remember one thing he said on there, and Nikki can probably tell us if I'm right or wrong on this, but I understood that we had to spend our $360,000 before we go to the next step, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, the next question is, as I brought up that now, how are we gonna spend it when we don't have it all? Because the 125 we're supposed to be getting from the Board of Education, right?
Yeah.
We gotta have that in place, correct? To be able to spend that 360. That's part of that 360 we got to spend, is that right?
That is, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So how are we gonna get that 125 to spend?
Okay. And the 360, from that, we can subtract the 122,500 we've already spent on the land,
That's right.
and the 15,500 that we've already paid,
Okay,
which gets it down to 222,500.
okay.
And, in order to spend that, we're gonna need to borrow that from the bank.
I thought we were going to 125 to put in that pot to be able to spend it where we didn't have to borrow that, at least that 125.
If we can get it from the Board of Education,
Yeah.
then we then we'll only have to borrow it,
Okay.
you know.
My answer is, why haven't we already, 3 months ago, got it set up with the board, on put on their agenda to speak, to ask when they're gonna write us that check? Because I know it's been promised, but, and I don't know if the board's actually acted on it. Have they acted and voted yes, 100%, we're ready to write the check? And if they are, can we not request that check?
They have voted to do that,
Okay,
and, I just asked the superintendent, I first did it in a phone call, then I did it in an email to have a record of it. When would we be able to get that money, any of it, part of it, all of it? And, his reply was he would talk to Anthony Cooper, which is their financial guy, and see if they couldn't get us some of it, or all of it pretty soon. And, you know, that was the last correspondence I had.
do they have another board meeting this year?
Tyler?
Yeah, May the 26th, I think.
May the 26th.
I think, I'm gonna have to check, but
It's usually the fourth Thursday, the last Thursday, one or the other.
Well, if we don't get an answer that we need or a check, don't you think we need to make sure we get put on the agenda, either you or all of us or somebody go up there and find out when that's coming? Because we can't spend it if we don't have it. That was the point I was
Right.
making when we was talking about that, when he was talking about that the other night. Without that 125, we got two choices: borrow it and pay interest on it, or get them to write the check they promised. You know? And it's better, if they promised it how many years ago, you know, it's time to write the check. You know, if they want sewer at the school, it's time for them to do what they promised they would do, so. And if we've got, and what's after the 360, after we spend that, what's the next step? Because I don't want to get behind us. Like I said, 3 months ago, we were at Lambert's in a meeting, and we didn't come out of there with a checklist, this is what we need to do. Then I found out last week that we didn't have our interim financing in place, which I had no idea that had to be done. We had to spend the 360, which I had no idea what that had to be done. If we'd have known that 3 months ago, when we had that meeting at Lambert's, I feel like we'd probably be digging in the dirt today, because when we left there, I asked the question, when are we gonna start? And they said, as soon as Pretty Weather gets here. Pretty Weather's been here for a while, and I'm wondering, and people's asking me when we're gonna start. And then to come find out about the financing, about the money we gotta spend, and then, like I said, what's the next step after that? Nikki,
Well, so once this money is spent, then the temporary financing will be in place. And then my understanding is the next thing that happens is there's a pre-construction conference that rural development has. And then that's when they lay the plans for what's gonna happen going forward with the construction. But this has to happen, the big thing is the financing has to be in place. But that's worked out. I think that resolution, we'll probably get it this week or next week. So then once you get it, then you'll have to vote on it to pass it. But once that's done and once the money's spent down, then they can have that conference on the construction.
So once that's done, if we write a check, say to LAD for their part, that money's spent. Actually, more than that money, we probably can't pay LAD all of it, but I'm sure they'd like to have $200,000. And that would get our money spent, and when we get to the conference call, is that correct?
Right.
Well, I don't think that money has to be spent before we have the pre-construction meeting. The money just has to be, show that it's available.
He
Well,
said spent. That's what Adam said now.
We can ask Adam again, but my understanding was that it had to be, temporary financing has to be in place, and that money that we're obligated to spend down has to be spent down before they'll do that next step of the pre-construction
Okay.
conference.
I think that's what he said.
He
Okay.
said it had to be spent, and that's what I couldn't understand. And that's what I said the other night. Well, we can spend that, just one check, but we can't spend it if we don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta get the 125, or we just need to go borrow the 125. And I hate to borrow it and pay interest on it, but we need to borrow the 125 to get this thing rolling. But we need to spend down to that 360 point, and so we can go to the next step. And that's holding us up. I I don't know, I hate to wait for May the 26th. That's 3 more weeks or roughly to get, and then we won't get to 125 that night, so we're looking at another 30 days. I'm for barring the 125 and getting this thing started and not waiting another 30 days. Now, that's just my opinion. Y'all, the rest of the council speak of what they think, but we need to get this thing going. If that money's gotta be
Are
spent.
the
we need to find that
contractors,
out.
are they pushing to get this started?
Oh, they're ready to get it started, yeah.
So we need to go pretty fast on this if we possibly can.
That would be good,
And I'm sure Ladd, I mean, I wasn't, we're just now starting this, Jackie and I and Orville are, but, Ladd's been pretty nice to wait as long as they have, and I mean, we could, like I said, we might got to pay their whole amount, but we wouldn't have to just get rid of our 360 if we wrote them a check for 200, you know, and that got us to that point. I'm sure they'd be pretty happy. I'm sure Ladd's probably would like to have some money, I feel sure. You know.
Liberty is willing to loan what they need to loan.
So, I think we need to, y'all think we need to make a motion to borrow the money if we have to, if we don't get the answer in on the 26th, or what do y'all think?
Would you be willing to contact the Board of Education again, or is that going to be pushing?
No, no.
If you would do that, and let's just, before we commit to borrowing this 125.
Okay. And, you know, as soon as we get the resolution from David Ringstein, we'll set a meeting, you know, to adopt that. And, you know, and at least at that point, we should know what the Board of Education is going to do.
Yeah,
And then we, at that same meeting, we can,
I believe that deal will be able to, you know, like, you know, give us an answer of when they're gonna write the check, or if he's gotta get some more input from the board, or what he's gotta do. But if they voted to write it, I mean, if they give us some money, I don't know what his answer would be, but I'd be real curious.
They should understand the situation.
Well, he's got to make sure they got the money in the bank to write the check, just like we would, so. I'd call him tomorrow and find out. Like I said, we'll go from there. I just think back up to that
okay,
point.
yeah.
That meeting's on the 25th, I said 26th.
Okay.
I'll look, it's on the 25th.
There's a Thursday though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And,
Okay.
so I guess it's down to number 9, and, we'd need a motion there on number 9.
Chuck, I move we'll go into recess and so we can go into executive session.
For what?
To discuss possible litigation
Okay,
with our lawyer.
okay. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor say aye. Okay. We'll pause here for a little bit.
I need to make the statement
Yeah.
that the issue that's been presented to me is appropriate for an executive session because it does involve the imminent possibility of legal action.
All right, we'll recess for a little bit and go into executive session, and, the law says I should say about how long we'll be. I'm gonna say 10 to 15 minutes, be my guess, and then we'll resume out here, and, the next thing on the agenda is approval of bills, and then we'll get to public comment. So, we'll